What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Of course, we're going to start off by talking about the Super Bowl that was last night. A little recap of what went on last night. The Chiefs defeat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime. It was a great game. First half was a little slow. It was 10-3 Niners. Was one of the more lamer Super Bowls I had seen in a while in the first half, but second half, completely different story. Ended up being a great game, and the Chiefs win their second straight Super Bowl. The first team to repeat in the Super Bowl as winners since the New England Patriots. You got to go back a while, possibly 20 years, because they were in a couple straight. They got in from 16 to 18. I think they were maybe in 3 straight. In 16, they came back to beat the Falcons. In 17, they beat something they had lost to Philly with Nick Foles in 2018. They beat the Rams. The Patriots from 16 to 18 made it 3 straight years, and then 4 out of 5 because they also beat Seattle in 2014. That was the Malcolm Butler game when he had the pick when Seattle didn't give it to Marshawn Lynch. But they didn't win back-to-back. I think like last time they won maybe like 03 and 04, something like that. So it's been a long time since we had an NFL team win 2 straight years. We've had teams go there back-to-back, like I said. The Chiefs obviously have done it. The Patriots did it a few years ago. But Chiefs first back-to-back winners since the Patriots about 20 years ago. Well, I don't know what else to say about Patrick Mahomes. He is one of the all-time greats. Even in the worst year of his career, this is his 6th season in the league. This is his worst year of his career. He's on the worst team of his career. The offensive line isn't great. The receiving core is absolutely terrible. Even Travis Kelce didn't have his absolute best. He's still one of the best 3 tight ends in football. But, he fell just short of 1,000 yards. Usually way over that. The defense, actually, they're better side of the ball this year. Overall. And they still win the Super Bowl. They are just incredible. Mahomes has been playing 6 years. He's been to 6 straight AFC championships. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. He has won 3. He's got 3 rings right. He's a 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time regular season MVP. I think he's thrown for 5,000 yards twice in his career. He's got a 50 touchdown season. He's one of the all-time greats. You cannot give him more than even 10 seconds. To score points. Obviously, we saw a few years ago in the divisional game, the Bills took a lead by 3 or 13 seconds left, and the Chiefs went down the field, and were still able to kick a field goal to overtime, ended up winning that game. He's just absolutely amazing. He's one of the all-time greats. The Chiefs are the New England Patriots. I think I said it before, maybe when they went to the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. And some of these Patriot fans honestly, they kind of need to shut up, if I'm being honest. Whenever someone brings up Mahomes' Brady, it's like, oh, he's better than Brady. He's not better than Brady. Like, no one is saying he's better than Brady. Anyone who is on something that is not legal. Because he is not better than Tom Brady, at least not yet. Brady has longevity, all the numbers, 7 Super Bowls. It's not close. But Mahomes is one of the all-time greats. He may be top 5. The other quarterbacks I would put ahead of him would be Brady, Joe Montana, I would still put ahead of him, Peyton Manning, although Mahomes has more Super Bowl rings than him, but I would still put Peyton Manning ahead of him. It's hard to put any more guys ahead of him. Maybe John Elway, maybe Dan Marino. To me, Mahomes is already better than Aaron Rodgers. I already thought he was better than Brett Favre. I already thought he was better than Steve Young. So you can make a case that he's top 5 all time. You can't put him lower than probably 6th or 7th. I know some people think he's the second greatest of all time. I don't agree with that. He certainly isn't the greatest yet, but you gotta remember, I don't see how you could say he's not top 7, 8 all time at the very least. And he's 28 years old. And his path to greatness is kind of similar to Tom Brady. Brady, a little different. Brady, Mahomes is obviously a top 10 pick. He was the 10th pick in the draft. And Brady was a 6th round pick. Although no one thought Mahomes would be this good. I mean, a lot of people had both Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Watson ahead of him pre-draft. I mean, I thought he was going to be great. I mean, no one could have thought he would have been, arguably a top 5 quarterback of all time before he turned 30 years old. But I did think he'd be a franchise quarterback at the very least. I did like Watson coming in. He was great until obviously he turned into a horrible human being. And I never saw anything in Mr. Trubisky. I don't know what the Bears saw in him, to be honest. By the way, the Bears could have Mahomes and just putting that out there. But yeah, even he, a lot of people thought he was like the third best quarterback in that class coming out. I mean, we all knew he'd be a higher pick, and yes, he ends up going 10th overall. Chiefs trade up to get him with the 10th pick, but still, you know, the first year, Brady, Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. He goes in there. They're like, who the heck is this guy? And he goes in with the Super Bowl. Mahomes' first year didn't play. He sat behind Alex Smith for a year. And second, he goes out and like, oh, what are you gonna expect? He's technically a rookie. Chiefs working with a lot of veterans. Obviously, a veteran coach, Andy Reid. Team that's been winning division titles the last few years. They've been playing pretty much every year. Will be able to still be consistent? And he ends up winning MVP and was almost in the Super Bowl. Wasn't for D4 lining up 3 yards offside, he would have been in the Super Bowl. It might have won. It was 2018. Oh, that would be the Rams. Give me a break. And then just every year, no matter what, they are in. The Patriots are in, and the Chiefs both are. You can pencil them in for being at least the AFC Championship every year. They're gonna be in the Super Bowl a lot. They're gonna win Super Bowls a lot. Brady and Mahomes, they can do some, extraordinary things. Brady with his arm, Mahomes with his arm as well. Mahomes can make a few more plays with his legs than Brady can, obviously, but still, both are similar in that aspect. And both when can be great game managers. By the way, can these people stop talking about game managers as the negative thing? I hate when people do that. Like freaking Cam Newton saying, "Oh, Dak and Purdue game manager." Like, dude, shut up. There's a reason you're not in the league. If anything, Campbell's a game manager. If anything, he's not that much different than Lamar Jackson. He has a couple of really great years. Other than that, he was just okay, and not a great thrower, great runner. The Super Bowl. So can't shut up. Like Brady and Mahomes, like they're two of the greatest game managers probably we've ever seen. Brady's the greatest, Mahomes might be the second greatest. Like you don't need to be super flashy like Josh Allen win Super Bowls. And by the way, Allen has not won Super Bowl, nor has he been to the Super Bowl. Hasn't even been to the AFC Championship in like 4 years. And he always got the like Brady was never that flashy. He's the greatest of all time. Even Mahomes. Yes, he can be flashy, but he's not always flashy. And he's got 3 Super Bowls reigns in 6 years. Even Joe Burrow isn't that flashy. He's top 3 in his position. So stop saying game managers are a negative thing. They are not. But when Mahomes has to manage a game, he's as good as it gets. He just picks you apart. Doesn't matter who's out there with him. He just makes it work, Doesn't matter what happens in the regular season, even if they're struggling offensively, the defense is having a down year, something happens. Once playoffs hit, they flip a switch, and they are a completely different animal. So, Chiefs win the Super Bowl. As for the 49ers, first of all, I feel terrible for Dre Greenlaw. Hope he has a speedy recovery. He has torn Achilles. He was literally running out onto the field, and he kind of stumbled and fell and ended up tearing his Achilles. It's a really tough break. He worked his whole career to get to the Super Bowl. He's a really good inside linebacker, one of the league's best. And he tears his Achilles early on in that game, just running onto the field, after the 49ers punted the ball away. Real shame. Hopefully he's ready by next season. Guy's second for the 49ers because he's a really good player. So that was a tough break for him. I'm not sure where you go if you're the Niners. I'm not saying fire Kyle Shanahan. He lost by 3 points to Patrick Mahomes from the Super Bowl. That's enough to sneeze at. But at some point, we had to have a conversation. Be like, can this guy win the big game? How many leads has he blown in the playoffs? In 2016, in the 2016 Super Bowl, he was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons were up 28-3. And the offense in the second half completely just turned off, didn't score, turned the ball over. by an offense that featured the league's MVP in Matt Ryan. You had Julio Jones, one of the great receivers of all time. You had Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman. So many pieces on that offense. And you got shut out. Yes, it was Bill Belichick, and a lot of the stuff was reason lost was because of Dan Quinn's defense. But still, you got to score. Getting outscored what? In the second half in overtime, getting outscored, what was it, 31-3, whatever it was? That's unacceptable. And just, calling 3 straight passes, late in that fourth quarter, opposed to just running out the clock, that cost him a Super Bowl. Simple as that. Then, in 2019, he as the head coach of the Niners, he had a 20-10 lead with under 6 minutes left against these same Chiefs. And he blew it. Again, late in that game, they were winning. Instead of running out the clock with the league's second best running game in the league, he decided with Jimmy Garoppolo decided to throw 3 straight passes, and they were all incomplete. The clock stopped. He gave it back to the Chiefs, and look what happened. In the division round a couple of years ago, they blew a lead. They sort of blew the NFC Championship last year. And this year, they were up 10-0 in the first quarter. Yes, look, being up 10 points isn't that, anything like, oh yeah, this game's over, especially in the first quarter against Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't matter who you're playing. 10-0 in the first half is nothing in the NFL. You could score twice, and then all of a sudden, the Florida were almost dominating, and then, because Chiefs got a field goal, make it 10-6, and then they got a turnover, and they scored in the first play, and they left the Florida Scantling wide open, and all of a sudden the Chiefs were winning 13-10. That's how it works in the NFL. But again, another 10-point lead that you blow, you get outscored at 25-12 the rest of the way. Like, at some point, we are looking at Kyle Shanahan like, maybe he can't win a big one. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I think he's a great coach. Outside of Andy Reid, your Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, there isn't that many coaches that are better than him. You can make argument he's a top 5 coach in the NFL. If you said he's the 3rd, 4th, 5th best coach in the NFL, I'm a smidge lower after the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't, take you to the woodshed for it. I absolutely see why. He's a great coach. Incredible offensive mind, great play designer. One of the best in the league. The only guy, when it comes to play design, that's better than him in the league might be Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid is the best of all time at that. You can make the argument. Either him or Bill Walsh or something like that. It's the only guy that probably I would put ahead of Andy Reid. But at some point, if he can't win a big game, he can't win a big game. As for changes they'll have to make, they gotta have a serious conversation about Brock Purdy. Look, a lot of people think, oh yeah, he's only good because of the pieces. He's not that good. I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any means. I don't. I also don't think he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. I think he's a decent starter. I think he's a solid starting quarterback. Especially considering he was the last pick in the draft. The story is absolutely incredible. The fact that he's anything more than, a depth quarterback is incredible. But he's got a top running back. Christian McCaffrey was Offensive Player of the Year this year, almost won MVP. He's got a top 3 tight end in Kittle, who's a future Hall of Famer. He's got a top 10 receiver in Deebo Samuel, another really good receiver in Brandon Ayuk. He's got a great offensive line led by Williams, who I think is the best offensive lineman in the sport, at least at his position. You got other pieces that aren't half bad, like Chris Conley and Juwan Johnson, who might have been Super Bowl MVP until McCaffrey got hot at the end of the game, and then of course Chiefs ended up winning, so you can't give it to a player on a losing team. This team is loaded, and the fact that he still had a few games where he struggled, like I know against Cleveland, it's not fair. Like every bad game, like you say, oh he's bad, like that's a little unfair. Just because he was a 7th round pick and not a 1st round pick does mean every bad game, you should completely just tear him down. Like Pat Mahomes has had games where he has struggled, and Josh Allen has. Aaron Rodgers did in his prime. Even Brady did. Every quarterback has games, they come out there, they just get outplayed. It is what it is. That's life. So you have good days and bad days in life. at sports and that's life. You know, like, all right, yeah, yes, he struggled against Cleveland. Browns had one of the best defenses in the NFL, and also part of the reason also because Jake Moody missed the game-winning field goal. He makes that, you know, his struggle would have been hidden by the fact that they won. Yes, he threw four picks against the Baltimore Ravens. They had the best record in football this year, and they had the best defense in the league. They had one of the best defenses of the last 10 years, probably. Only even that were better than them were probably the Jaguars in 2017, the Saxonville year. Maybe the one year, with the Bears, with double joint Bears years, a couple maybe there, but they had top defense the last 10 years at least. This year, the Ravens. I mean, their entire defensive staff is getting jobs elsewhere. The coordinator got a head coach job. All the other assistants are getting defensive coordinator jobs. Just tells you all you need to know. Unless I think he was bad by any means. Like he managed the game. He did, to me, honestly, what he needed to do. I didn't think the guys around him played great. They had some drops. With Debo, even Kittle, and also they got to get these guys more involved though. Debo Samuel had 3 catches for 33 yards. He had a drop, no touchdowns. Kittle had 2 catches for like 9 yards. Like, look, kudos to Juwan Jennings and Chris Conley for stepping up, but why are you leaning on Chris Conley and Juwan Jennings when you have, Debo Samuel and George Kittle? And part of that, that's what Kyle Shanahan. Like, what was that game plan on offense? Look, the Chiefs defense is underrated, and Steve Spagnuolo, we got to start talking about him as one of the greatest defensive corners of all time. He's the first coordinator ever to win 4 Super Bowls. He won 2 as the defensive coordinator with the Giants when they beat Tom. And he won 1 with the Giants and 3 with the Chiefs. He's a really good defensive coordinator. He's done a great job with that Chiefs defense. He's been there for a while now. I think he got there on Mahomes' his second year in Milan. He's been there for 5 years, done a really good job. He's obviously won 3 Super Bowls. A lot of, George Karlaftis is a really good young pass rusher in his second year, first round pick who had a really good year. I don't think Chris Jones is a stud. So you have, Willie Gay is a good linebacker. L'Jarius Sneed turns one of the best cover corners in the league. Trent McDuffie is a great slot corner, although he took a horrible penalty in that overtime. They got that defense is very good and very underrated. But the Rochelle, because of all the big names on offense, Holmes, Travis Kelce, the whole Kelce thing with Swift and everything. They showed her way too much again. Look, I've never liked Taylor Swift. Not a fan of her music. She annoys me. As a person, I don't know who she is. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady, but just NFL, stop showing her. Like, get it. We get it. She's dating Travis Kelce. Like, no one cares. We're here to watch football, okay? No one cares. At this point, I'm not even blaming her. I mean, it's not her for the NFL showing her. I mean, I can't blame her I'm not gonna say she can't come to the game. I mean, she's dating a star player on the Chiefs, and, I don't have the money to go to the game, be in the press box every game. My lord, she's wealthy. But NFL, stop showing her. Seriously. Don't let this go on to next year, please. I mean, I don't think they'll be together by next year. I'm sure they'll probably break up and Taylor will write an album about them. But back on track. Yeah, at some point you gotta start looking at Kyle Shanahan. And with Brock Purdy, I still don't know if he's a Super Bowl quarterback. I don't know if he is. If I'm them, I would go after Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins is healthy, I think with Kirk, they win the Super Bowl. So that's how I do if I'm a 49ers. Go up to Kirk Cousins. Throw every single penny at him. Every single penny. Also, their special teams wasn't great. Jake Moody didn't overall. He had his fair share, though. He did make 2 long field goals. Also had an extra point blocked in the game. So, but he had his fair share of struggles this year. And they made a lot of mistakes. Christian McCaffrey in the first quarter fumbling. On that punt. Yes, that's lucky that hits off the 49er who was engaging in a block. It hits off the back of his leg. But they ran the flat. He got a fall. He tried to pick it up, and he fumbled in the Chiefs cover in the red zone. And they ended up, first play Mahomes to a wild Marcus Volta scaling for a touchdown, which gave them a lead at the time. Like, you saw it hit your teammate's leg. Now you know, all right, that's a fumble. The Chiefs can fall on that and recover it. You got to fall on that. Yes, you'd be inside your own 20, but, starting with bad field position and punting it back to the Chiefs, and again, that they haven't gotten anything going offensively. You're up 10-6 in the second quarter, or in the third quarter right now. It's better than the Chiefs getting it and basically being handed the free touchdown. Now all of a sudden they're winning, and when Mahomes gets the momentum, no one on this planet can stop him. All the momentum, they dominate the Chiefs on off, defensively in that first half. They're up 10-3. It was still 10-6. They're playing their game. They were running the football, playing great defense. This is the game that the Florians wanted to play. They have it in the palm of their hand, and they made a stupid mistake, and Chiefs capitalized. And after that, once they scored it off, to me, it was like, yeah, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. But that's the Super Bowl. I was happy that the officiating ones, I didn't have a problem with it. The penalties that were called, I thought were the correct call. The offensive holdings on the 49ers, the defensive holding on McDuffie. I didn't have a problem with any of them. I was a little worried because it was Bill Vinovich. He's the guy from the Rams Saints. He who made that call in 2018 in the NFC title game, but he did a good job. The only bad things were the commercials were really mediocre. I was happy that we got a Deadpool trailer that comes out towards the end of July. Very excited for that movie. Finally, Marvel is putting out what could be a blockbuster movie. Like, they're making a Wicked movie. Like, why is that a thing? Like, the whole thing... Like, that whole thing was very weird. And then there was a couple of course that were kind of funny. Like the one with Ken Jeong was okay. Oh, man, they were really mid, boring. And what the hell is a halftime show? People on social media are saying it was great. No, it was not. Usher... He hasn't been relevant in 10 years. Why is he doing it? He's relevant in years. Look, I was very happy that he came out and he played the song Yeah, and they brought out Lil Jon and Ludacris. That was cool. That's an all-time great song. That's his most popular song. Everything else was just him just spinning around and dancing and singing this mid-as-crap music. It was a little short too, not very good. Also, holy hell, he had some outfit changes. Good, I don't know how he did that. But that's the Super Bowl. Football is over. I'll still talk some football, on this show when it comes to, I'll probably do like my end of the year top 10 position rankings. I'm going to rank the quarterbacks 1 through 32. So keep your eye out for that. That'll be coming soon. I'll give you guys an update when it gets a little closer. But moving away from the Super Bowl, let's talk some hockey. Here are the NHL standings as of today. Boston Bruins still lead the Eastern Conference with 73 points, and second is Florida with 70 points. The New York Rangers have 69 points. They are in third, starting to get their groove back after they were struggling for a while. In fourth is Carolina with 65. Philly is in fifth with 62. Tampa is in sixth with 61. Toronto's in seventh with 60, as Detroit also has 60, but they've played one more game than Toronto, so they're in eighth. Islanders are 4 points out. That team is just really, really mediocre. Devils are 6 points out. They've had so many injuries. The goaltending's been horrible. They've had injuries defensively. Jack Hughes is out for the second time this year for an injury. They've had a tough year. Very disappointing after a big year last year. They almost stuck around the playoffs. Had a lot of expectations this year, and they're falling flat on their face. I know a lot of Devils fans, they talked a lot of crap this offseason, and they are on pace to miss the playoffs. Washington Capitals are also 6 points out. That team is just old. The Penguins are 7 points out. They've been really disappointing. They might need to make a lot of changes because that team is really old. Crosby is all-time great player, but he's towards the end. Malkin's at the end. Letang's at the end. The team is just simply old. Then you have Montreal, Buffalo, Ottawa, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In the Western Conference, the Vancouver Canucks have 76 points. Best record in hockey. They have the most points in the NHL right now. Second is Dallas. They have 70 points. Third in the West is Vegas with 68. Colorado also has 68, but they've played one more game in Vegas. Fifth is the Winnipeg Jets with 67. 6th is Edmonton with 61. 7th is the Kings at 58. And 8th is the Blues, also with 58, but they put 2 more games on the Kings. Nashville is 2 points out. They're mediocre every year. Somehow they're over the 7-8 seed, or just missed the play. I don't know how they do it. Then you have Calgary is 3 points out. Seattle has fallen 6 points out. They're struggling. Minnesota 7 points out. They've had a rough year. They have not played well. They fired the coach early on in the year and did not work. You have Arizona. That's when 8 points out. They're starting to look like the Cubs that they've been forever. And then Anaheim sucks. San Jose really sucks. And Chicago, good lord, they are just god awful. Alright, let's talk some basketball. NBA standings right now in the Eastern Conference. The Boston Celtics continue to dominate. They are 41-12. Lead the Eastern Conference. Second is the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers right now might be the best team in basketball. They've won 18 of 19. Donovan Mitchell, let's is averaging like 29 points a game. You have Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Goda Musk. They are playing phenomenal basketball. Over 18 of 19. They are a great basketball team. You have Milwaukee in third at 34-19. Fourth the Knicks, 33-20. The Knicks have a lot of injuries right now. You know, Julius Randle's out, OG Anunoby's out. You think Hartenstein's nicked up. Even Jericho Sims is nicked up. So obviously Mitch Robinson's been out for a while. So hopefully they get healthy. You know, the trade getting Burks and Bogdanovich will help. Obviously you still have Jalen Brunson. You know, Donte DiVincenzo's been playing phenomenal. I was like 7 of the games, averaging like 27 points a game, averaging like 5 threes a game. He's been playing great. He's had a great year. But third and fourth, fifth is Philly. Obviously, they're struggling, not having Joel Embiid. Indiana's in 6th, 30-24. First place team is Orlando, 29-24. Second place team is Miami, 20-25. Miami, they might be in trouble. It's a team that, you know, they've been to the finals 2 out of the last 3 years, and the conference finals, you know, 3 out of the last 4 years. But Ted Rozier, you know, who they traded for a couple weeks ago, and the point guard, he got hurt against Boston, you know, didn't look great. We'll see what the update is on that. And the kid Martin got nicked up in that game. You know, Jimmy Butler's going to miss probably a couple of games with a personal issue. He had a death in his family, so my condolences to his family. Hope he gets back on the court very soon. I'm so sure he will be, because he's obviously a great player and he loves to win. You know, he came out and said, you know, people who know me don't care. I don't care about an all-star. I just want to win. But like, if they use Terry Rozier, now with Kyle Lowry now not on the team anymore, because also they traded him for Rozier, they're in trouble, because there really isn't a point guard on their roster other than besides Tyler Hero, who they've been starting at the 2 guard, and they have to start Duncan Robinson. The depth, which is already being tested, will be really good tested. You know, whenever a second playing team, you know, they probably would beat Orlando in the playing game. But this Cleveland team, the way Cleveland's playing, I don't know if that game will go. This year will go 6 games against Miami, so they're in a little bit of trouble. And the Bulls, 25-28, they're a 9 spot. They have not made a trade in 3 years. I don't know what they're doing. Atlanta's last playing team at 24-29. Yeah, Brooklyn has fallen 2.5 games out. I don't know what they're doing. You have Toronto, obviously 5 games out of the play-ins. Then you have Charlotte, Washington, and Detroit. Speaking of the Charlotte Hornets, their president of basketball operations, Mitch Kupchak, has stepped down. He's going to move into an advisor role. Apparently, there's the short list of candidates for who could be the next to run the basketball operations for sure. I heard the GM in New Orleans, Trayon Langdon, is on the list. I heard Elton Brand, the GM in Philly, is on that list. I think the GM in Cleveland's on my list. I think the assistant GM in Brooklyn's on my list. So we will see where they go. Regardless, I have no faith that the Charlotte Hornets will make the right move, because they are the Charlotte Hornets. But Kupchak steps back. He was the executive for the Lakers for a long time. It was a big move when they brought him in, but he hasn't really been able to bring any success. You know, look, I like him that he picked him out. I like that he picked Brandon Miller. Other than that, nothing he's done has inspired me at all. You know, but you know, Hornets are going into a new era. You know, obviously Michael Jordan stole the team recently. You know, they're making a change in the front office. You know, I'm hoping they can get Steve Clifford out of there. I don't think he's a good coach at all, but we'll see what happens. But they are embracing they seem to be embracing rebuild. They've been trying to stack draft picks. You know, they got future first for Terry Rozier. You know, they had They got the first for PJ Washington. So, they pick up Great Williams, who's still a young player on their contract for 4 years, so let's see what they can do with that. But on to the Western Conference, Minnesota Timberwolves lead the West. You have the Clippers in second. And third is Oklahoma City Thunder, and fourth is the Denver Nuggets. Those three teams are very, very close. With all those four teams are within a half game of each other. You have Phoenix in fifth at 31-22, as are the New Orleans Pelicans. First place team is Sacramento at 30-22. Eighth is Dallas with 30-23. The Lakers are 28-26 on the 9th spot. I don't know why they didn't make a trade to the trade deadline. There were lots of talks about Dejounte Murray. I didn't know what they're going to give up for him. They don't really have a lot of pieces exactly. They were trying to flip Gabe Vincent. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. They just signed, by the way, they just signed Spencer Dinwiddie. Have no clue how that helps them at all. He's not that good, but he's a Laker. The Warriors on the last playing team. The Warriors have been playing pretty well. So Draymond and Nurkic going out at the other night. Of course, last time they played, Draymond smacked them and got suspended for 12 games. You have Utah as a half game out of the play-in. You have Houston as 3 games out of the play-in. And the Grizzlies are obviously the loss. They've lost 8 in a row. They made a lot of moves. Xavier Tillman to Boston. They made a couple moves. Obviously, since an injured Steven Adams to Houston. And then Portland and the Spurs were going to run out the Western Conference. But yeah. Dinwiddie's Laker. And Kyle Lowry will sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. So, just pick up a depth piece. I mean, Lowry doesn't have much left, but he still defend a little bit. He some depth behind the Tyrese Maxey, I guess. He will be a Philadelphia 76er once he clears waivers. Some more NFL news. Hassan Reddick has been given permission by Philly to seek a trade. Don't know why. He had 11 sacks this year. I think he had 16 the year before. He's a great pass rusher. We'll see where he ends up. The Seahawks have hired Aiden Durde as their defensive coordinator. He Dan Quinn, who is a guy who he worked with a lot. He was an assistant under him when Quinn was the head coach in Atlanta, and he was Dallas's D-line coach for 3 years. Dan Quinn took him as his D-line coach when he took the defensive coordinator job in Dallas, and now he leaves to be the defensive coordinator in Seattle. That's when Mike McDonald brought in as defensive coordinator. And they hired Ryan Grubb as their offensive coordinator. So Ryan Grubb, he was at Washington in the last couple of years as their offensive coordinator. He followed Caleb DeBoer to Alabama, but now is leaving to take the offensive coordinator job in Seattle. So he gets a shot in the NFL. Look, we've never seen him in the NFL, so it's kind of hard to judge. I mean, the Washington offense was really good, but, I'm not sure how much it was because of DeBoer, because, you had a possible first-round pick quarterback in Michael Penix, who was a Heisman finalist, and a top 10 pick in receiver Romeo Odunze. The running back Devon Johnson also was really good this year for Washington. So we'll see how he does. He's got a lot of talent to work with, so we will see what happens. Chip Kelly is leaving UCLA as the head coach to be the offensive coordinator of Ohio State. The reason being is Bill O'Brien, who of course last year was the Patriots offensive coordinator. He had agreed to be the Ohio State offensive coordinator, but he just took the head coach of Boston College, because their head coach Jeff Hafley left to be the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. So Bill O'Brien is back in the college ranks as a head coach. I like to hire a lot from Boston College. He completely resurrected Penn State. They were in a tough spot when when they got banned from the playoff. They did some illegal stuff. And Bill O'Brien came in, he completely turned that program around. He's a mediocre NFL coach. I don't love him as an NFL coach. No, he's a good offensive coordinator, but he's a really good college head coach, I will say. So I like that move. Kelly might think, well, why would he go from a head coach to being an offensive coordinator? Why would he voluntarily do that? The head coach of UCLA, he's done a decent job, but the Seahawks were looking at him for offensive coordinator, so clearly there's a possibility he could be an offensive coordinator in the NFL. He was a head coach in the NFL, wasn't good. He was terrible in Philly and god awful in San Francisco. But, if he goes to Ohio State and does a good job there, he, if in a year or two, could be a corner in the NFL. So that's the reason that Chip Kelly will be their offensive coordinator. MLB has suspended former Mets GM Billy Epler for this entire season for misusing the injured list. Okay, look. He was a terrible GM. I'm glad he's not there anymore as a Mets fan. What he did happens every year. Guys do it all the time. Every GM misuses the IL, Guy's not really hurt, but, they want to rest him. But they don't want to take up rock spots. So they throw him on 10-day and they sit him for a week and a half, but I mean, what he did illegal, but, he got caught. Somebody narked. I'm not sure who it was. Remember, this first came out months ago, like, I think right after Epler stepped down, it came out. Obviously, Epler probably knew he was in trouble. That's probably why he stepped down. I'm not sure if he was to say that anyway. I mean, the whole thing was with Cohen that, like, Epler knew that they were going to hire a president of baseball operations to serve ahead of him, and he was okay with it. I mean, the guy they brought in, David Stern's a pretty big name. I'm not sure if he would have stayed anyway. But, once that happened, I think he knew he was in some deep crap, so. Or maybe Cohen found out, he was like, get the hell out of my building, but, out of respect, because it seemed like they had a very good relationship, he said, oh yeah, he stepped down, and in other words, Cohen like, you're a freaking idiot, get the hell out of my building. But, much who narked when it first happened. A lot of people thought maybe Buck did. At first, I was like, no, that's not like him. But after he came out and he came out and he went on some podcast and he was saying like the Mets they like load like they were like they wanted him to do like load management. He said we had a guy have like 2 doubles and a triple one game, and he said he should sit the next day because he ran around the bases too much. He was like, what are you talking about? He goes, Brandon, like he can't play the next day. And it was clear, like, Epler was making them, like, make certain lineups that he wanted, according to analytics. Buck couldn't manage the way that he wanted. Some luster is on him, but far from all of it, for sure. So, maybe it was Buck. Maybe Buck said, you know what, screw you. I'm narking, Tommy Hunter, from our Mets reliever, he was on the team below it, then he got DFA'd in, like, May or June, because he was not good at baseball. He came out and said, he thinks it's thought I was ridiculous. So obviously it wasn't him. So I don't know who narked. Not that it matters now. I mean, he's not getting a GM job again. He's an awful GM. So he was suspended for the entire 2024. The NFL announced they're going to be playing in Spain in 2025. It's a fun development. And for wrestling, WWE SmackDown, of course. Leading up to SmackDown, a few days before, you had that big, the WrestleMania kickoff event. First, a lot of stuff happened. You had, like, Rhea and Becky Lynch and some other stuff happened. But then Roman Reigns comes out. Paul Heyman comes out, and Roman Reigns comes out, and he was like, Cody doesn't get to choose. I don't care about the Royal Rumble. I choose The Rock. Then The Rock comes out. And The Rock says, oh yeah, the Cody crybabies, because everyone's saying we want Cody, and they're like, oh, we're gonna put on the bigger professional main event. History of professional wrestling. Obviously, remember their cousins, and they put up their whole family tree on the big screen, and then they shook hands. Then Cody comes out and was like, it's my decision, and I choose Roman Reigns. Then The Rock confronts him and he smacks him, and then there was a scuffle, and then backstage, Triple H was backstage, and then The Rock was there with Roman and Paul Heyman and Rock because, if you don't fix this, you don't talk shit about my family. If you don't fix this, I will. And, by the way, do we really doubt Triple H? TKO made him push the Rock vs. Roman thing. Rock's on the board. TKO made him do that. And Triple H said, thank you guys. That's a great idea for a storyline. Let's make The Rock, use his TKO power to push him in the main event. And then Cody came out and say, screw you, I have no Rumble, I choose Rumble, I'm going to finish my story. And now there's like a Triple H and Rock from like a little alliance. They're trying to so force way in, and with Cody there, and Seth Rollins is involved. Yeah, that little thing. Like, oh my god, like...
Niners suck.
I'm not sure if you guys heard, that was Justin just came in the back and said Niners suck. Yes, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So, shout out to Justin. But yeah, love a storyline. I tweeted out, like, look, I hope they don't go this route, but let it play out. Still 2 months. Look what happened. Triple H is a genius. I still stand by. I don't love the way he booked the end of that segment when he had like The Rock and Cody hug, and that was weird. I didn't like that booking decision, but he fixed it. He tried it. It didn't work, but he fixed it. But on SmackDown, Triple H came out. He called up The Rock, took some shots at him, said Roman will face Cody Rhodes. Of course, he had Paul Heyman's came into his office and was like next week I'll be with Roman Reigns and The Rock. Came in for that this Friday. Then you had Randy Orton defeat Sami Zayn to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. You had Drew McIntyre beat AJ Styles to do the same thing. You had pretty deadly. Had their little weird segment. It's weird. They give me a weird vibe for some reason, but they're actually not bad. They're pretty good in the ring. Bianca Belair defeated Michin to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. They had Bayley come out and she was talking to Dakota Kai and saying, I was in a tough spot. And Bayley was like, where were you last week? Saying, I was in a tough spot. Then Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors came out and they were about to attack Bayley. Originally, Dakota Kai just left, but then she came in for chair and chased him away. So she sides with Bayley in this whole feud. By the way, the way they are building the down control with Bayley and Io Sky is incredible, by the way. The previous week, their second one, Bayley because Io Sky was outstanding and continues to get better. Yet, Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and B-Fab cut a promo on the Final Testament. Did not have B-Fab being in a faction with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits on my bingo card, but here we are. You had British Strong Style, which is the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne and the Big Strong Boy Tyler Bate defeated DIY. In a tag team match, they will fight the Judgment Day at the Chamber for the tag team titles. And you had Dom Owens and KO at a Rebel Altercation because they have a match, this is the upcoming week for a qualifying match. And then Logan Paul threw a tantrum against Nichols and Adam Pearce because he didn't think he should have to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. And then Nichols says, too bad, so sad, you will be facing The Miz. It's upcoming Friday. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.